It started with scratching. I didn't know it would end with me running for my life. I never believed in monsters. Sure, I'd heard the stories, creepy legends whispered in dark corners, but I never thought they were real. That all changed when I moved into my parents' old house, right on the edge of Black Hollow Woods. The first night was quiet. I unpacked, cracked open a beer and sat on the porch. I could see the woods from there, dark, silent. The trees swayed, but something about them felt wrong, like they were watching. I brushed it off. I was tired. But at exactly 3:12 a.m., I woke up. At first, I thought it was a dream. Then I heard it. It was faint but clear, like nails dragging across my bedroom window. I froze. My heart hammered in my chest. I told myself it was a branch, but there weren't any trees that close. I turned my head. Outside the window, crouched on the grass, was something. It wasn't human. Its skin was pale and stretched tight like it didn't fit its body. Its limbs were too long, its knees bent backward, its face had no nose, no lips, just two massive black eyes staring straight at me. It tilted its head, watching me. Then it disappeared. I didn't sleep after that. The next day, I searched the yard. I was hoping to find nothing, but I didn't. In the dirt below my window were claw marks. Long, deep. They led back to the woods. I felt sick. I tried to tell myself I was imagining things, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had seen me. That afternoon, I went into town. It's a small place where everyone knows everyone, and I figured someone might have answers. At the diner, I found an old man sitting alone. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. "What's out there in the woods?" The man looked up, his face pale. "What do you mean?" I hesitated. "I heard something, like scratching, and I saw." The man's fork clattered to the table. "Did you look at it?" "What?" His voice dropped to a whisper. "Did you look at it?" I didn't answer. The man leaned closer. "Stay out of the woods, and whatever you do, don't let it in." I didn't know what to say. I left the diner feeling worse than before. That night, I locked every door, every window. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't stop hearing the old man's voice. Don't let it in. At 3:12 a.m., I woke up. It was louder this time. I sat up, my hands trembling. The sound was closer. I realized with growing horror that it wasn't coming from the window. It was coming from the hallway. The scratching moved slowly, deliberately. It stopped outside my bedroom door. I held my breath. My ears rang in the silence. Then, the doorknob turned. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't move. The door creaked open, and it crawled in. It moved on all fours, its limbs bending the wrong way, its grin too wide. It whispered in a voice that made my skin crawl. "Why did you look?" I don't remember what happened after that. I think I blacked out. The next morning, I packed my bags. I didn't care about the house. I just wanted to leave. But as I loaded my car, I saw something in the yard. The claw marks were back. This time, they led from the woods to my bedroom door, and standing at the edge of the trees was the thing. It was grinning. Watching, waiting. I didn't stay to find out what it wanted. I got in my car and drove. I checked into a motel 3 towns away. I locked the door, shoved a chair under the handle, and left every light on. I thought I was safe. But at 3:12 a.m., I woke up. The scratching had followed me. It came from the bathroom this time. I stared at the door, shaking. The handle turned, slowly. The light flickered, the door creaked open, and it crawled out. Its limbs twisted, its black eyes locked on me. It whispered, "Why did you look?" I ran, out of the room, into the parking lot. I screamed for help, but no one came. When I looked back, my motel window was open. The next morning, I left again. I didn't know where to go. I couldn't escape it. I tried staying with a friend, but the scratching came anyway. It didn't matter where I was. At 3:12 a.m., it always found me. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I checked myself into a hospital. They said I was hallucinating. Stress, they called it. But I knew better. They gave me a small room with a bed and a window. I begged them to keep the window shut. They didn't listen. That night, I sat awake, staring at the clock. 3:10, 3:11, 3:12. The scratching started. It came from the window. I turned my head slowly, tears streaming down my face. It was there, its face pressed against the glass, grinning. It whispered, "Let me in." I screamed. I don't remember much after that. They told me I had a breakdown. They moved me to a padded room, no windows this time. I thought I was safe. I thought it couldn't find me there. But at 3:12 a.m. I woke up. The scratching came from inside the walls. It whispered, "Why did you look?" I clawed at my ears, trying to block it out. I screamed for them to let me out, but no one came. The last thing I remember is the scratching getting louder. They found me the next morning, curled in the corner of the room. My fingernails were torn, bloody. My eyes were wide open. On the walls they found scratches, hundreds of them, forming 3 words over and over. Why did you look? If you hear scratching tonight, don't look. But if this story sent chills down your spine, hit like, subscribe and share. Just don't let it in.